Okay, in today's video, we're gonna try to answer the question everybody's always asking. What's the right way to put tape on threads? Let's get to it right now.
And after our quick discussion on Teflon tape, we're gonna have a brief overview of this machine. This is a 3.5 Vantage VTM automatic Edgebander. We're gonna show you how to hook up your air to this system and then give you a quick run through on all the stations. And in a follow-up video to come later, we'll actually run this machine and show you some finished product. So stay tuned for that. So sooner or later, we're all gonna have pipe or air fittings or some sort of threaded piece that you're gonna have to put together. Like in this case, we're setting up this machine over here. You see the aluminum block right there. We're gonna have to put this 3/4 by 1/4 inch adapter bushing along with the industrial air quick connect 1/4 inch NPT. And you cannot do that without Teflon tape. Don't try it. Here's the standard looking Teflon tape right here, also known as PTFE thread seal tape. And that's all good. But we always forget what's the right way to put it on. So the tip and trick that I've learned is with the threads facing you that you're gonna wrap, you're gonna go in a clockwise direction. So in that direction, okay? So on both of these, clockwise direction. Now, if you go the other way, the wrong way, a couple things can happen. You could, from time to time, when you thread that on there, the sealant tape could start to come back on you and bunch up and cause a problem, and that's gonna lead to leaks in the future. So we don't wanna do that. So let's do it the correct way. And in addition, I like to use the Blue Monster PTFE thread tape. So we're gonna use the Blue Monster, link in the description below if you wanna get some for yourself. It's about $5 a roll, but it's got 800 plus reviews and everyone says it's really good. And I've done a lot around the shop with this and never had any issues. So I like to use it as well. So we're gonna go clockwise again. So clockwise would be that way. If you have a big piece of pipe, you know, this little tiny guy doesn't really allow you, but usually want to start at the base and move towards the top. And this is just a couple of wraps for me, and I'm gonna be happy with that. And that looks nice and clean. See if you can get a good view. There you go. There you go. And that's gonna go right in to here. And of course, we'll get a wrench and we'll get that nice and snug. We're gonna do the other side here. And again, facing me, we're going clockwise. Difficult to do this with a camera sometimes, but okay, now for the larger piece, we're going to take our Blue Monster tape, and again, we're going clockwise. Start at the base if I can, if it's big enough, and then clockwise direction if it's facing me. Work our way towards the other end. And just a couple of wraps on these smaller diameters is plenty, especially with the nice heavy-duty Blue Monster Teflon tape. Okay, so those are wrapped. Again, just remember, clockwise, and you're good. Now, if you want to watch the rest of this video, we're going to show you how the new Vantage Edgebanders are coming in and how to put your own adapter to fit your shop, and we're going to do that now.
Okay, here we are setting up our new Vantage Edgebander. This is the MM 3.5 model, 220 volt, single phase, 28 total amps, and it is a 2022 model this year. And on all the new Vantage machines across the entire lineup, from the 3.5 all the way up to their largest model, they're now standardized with this aluminum block manifold. And so you're gonna attach your air line to here, and this sends out some air that doesn't go through the regulator, and then the rest of it's going right through this regulator and through the rest of the supply. And you can set your regulator right here. And this system is really easy to work with, but if you don't have the exact adapter that it comes with, some sort of 20mm shark bite style adapter, then we're just gonna remove this and put our 1/2 inch bushing inside, and then that'll connect to whatever shop air you have. In my case, I've just got a 1/4 inch NPT industrial. I don't have the automotive in my shop, I've got the industrial. And that'll quick connect to all the connection points I've got around in my shop. And if you want to see how I did my air system, that is our most popular YouTube video to date. I'll put that link in the description below, and you can check out the video where we did the air system around the whole shop. Anyway, let's go ahead and tighten these up and then take this off and install that, and we'll be ready to go. Okay, well, actually I just realized that I've got these 2 push-to connections here. So I can take that out and then work on this up here on the table, make it a lot easier than bending down here and looking up at the camera. So we'll take this out and do it up here.
Okay, first thing we'll do is take this off, just so we can have better access to this piece. Okay, then I'll grab my big wrench. And if that was any harder to open, I would have just stuck this in the vise. But it wasn't that bad. Pull this out. Okay, clean it up. There we go. Now, before we stick that in here, I'm going to tighten these 2 up first. Secure that, and then tighten this one up. That's nice and snug. And if there's any leaking at all, I can crank down a little harder, but that should be plenty. And then I'm going to take our block here, and we're just going to thread that in nice and straight. Make sure it goes in a couple of turns by hand. And then I can not use those because that's too small. So I'll use the big one. And we'll tighten this one up a little bit. Again, if it's not tight enough, we can always give it a couple more cranks later. But that should be fine.
Okay, let's just put this bad boy back in. Pretty simple. Push to connect here, push to connect here, and that should be good. Now we're going to turn on the shop air. We'll connect our shop air to here, and we'll check for any leaks anywhere around here, and we should be good to go. Everything else is nice and tight and ready to go. This branch is going to the main regulator for the machine that feeds the main systems and all the pneumatics. This line here is going to our liquids, our misters, and those have their own adjustable nozzles on them, so it doesn't get regulated or pass through the main system. It just goes straight to the misters from here. And so we'll go ahead and connect that to the shop air and be right back to test. Okay, the air system is on. I've got pressure here. We're going to go ahead and plug this in, and we should see some of the mechanisms in different stations get air. And I've got a little leak right here. You can definitely hear that. And it's coming from right here. So no problem. Disconnect that, and I'm just going to tighten this one down a little bit more, and we'll retest. Okay, I took this back to the vise, took this out, wrapped it a couple more times with fresh tape, cranked it down even tighter than before, and I'm hoping with all that that this is finally going to be leak-free. Let's plug it in and test it out. Look at that. Job well done. 0 leaks here, 0 leaks here, 0 leaks here, 0 leaks here. Everything is nice and quiet and should stay that way. So on this machine, it did take cranking that down a little bit closer to the base to get that to seal properly. And now we have no leaks. And so the only thing left to do on this machine is dust and power. And dust is just connecting a 4-inch port on the back of this machine. And power is just single phase, so that's just gonna be a couple of lines and a ground. So we probably won't make a video on that, but what we will do is once we've got the power and dust, we will come back and do a full feature film on this machine, and we will go over all the specs, from the quick change glue pot to the guillotine, the pressure wheels, the end trimmer, that's dual motor, front and rear end trim, the pneumatic oiler, top and bottom trimming, flat scraping, buffing. This is a great starter machine for any shop. Oh, and it also has the liquids, which we use SNX. And the misters are right here. That's the misting units right here. And so that does a couple of things. It lubricates the panel, helps with the flat scraping, but also does a good job cleaning some of that extra residue or smudges off the panel as it's coming through. And then of course the buffing wheels finish it off. So we will go through this whole machine and show it running. So stay tuned for that next video. Thanks for watching. Okay, everybody's got a quick change glue pot nowadays, but how quick is a quick change glue pot? So in this case, we're gonna take our VTM, this is a 3.5 model. We're gonna remove the glue pot, and you can watch and see how long it takes. And I believe it only takes one tool, just one simple 3mm Allen key. So let's go. So I believe I have to take this little top table off in order to get access to the glue pot. So there are just 4 of these little Allen bolts on this table. Luckily, there's just enough room to twist this T-handle around. 2, 3, and 4. So those 4 are off. And set those aside. And now I'm just going to lift this table right off, set this aside. And now we've got access to our glue pot. This is our locking mechanism. Unscrew that. Set that aside, and then our quick disconnect for power is right there. With all that said and done, I believe that's it. At this point, just simply grab at the handle, and this thing comes right out. You can set that aside. And that is truly a quick change glue pot. We are done. We could throw a new one on. We could take that one over to our purging table. We could do a number of things, but that's how quick it was to change this glue pot on the 3.5 VTM Edgebander. Thanks for watching.